Okay, I can see the chats now. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Good evening, guys. Good evening, guys. Can you guys hear me? Am I audible, guys? Hello, Shivam. Hello, Riyas, Sarma. Hello, Preeti. Hello, everyone. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, all of you. Am I audible, everyone? Please tell me. Can you guys hear me? Okay, that is great. So, good evening, everyone, and welcome. I welcome back all of you again to this React Essentials course or the 3-day session. Okay. And yesterday we started with React, so we learned how to install the project. We talked about what is Node.js and what editor we are going to use, and we also saw how to create a component. Okay. And today basically we'll move ahead and we'll see everything else. And I think some people are saying the screen is not clear. So everyone, please confirm, is the screen clear? Please, guys, can you guys tell me? Everyone, is the screen clear? Now it's clear. Okay, that might be like the internet issue. Not a problem. Not a problem. Okay, it's clear. That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. So I really hope that you guys have joined the group, and I really hope that you found the assignment and the day one files. If you have not joined it, don't worry about it. Today the group link will be in the chat. So please just click on the group link and join in so that you can get all the things that I do here, and also you'll get all the assignments there. So, and I think some people are also asking what is the last date for submission. So remember, guys, yesterday we announced it. By 21st August, submit all your assignments. So whatever I say you guys to do, by 21st, submit all of it. Okay, so you don't have to like whatever I did today, you have to like submit by tomorrow. It's not like that. But by 21st August, submit everything. Make sure that you submit everything by 21st August. Okay, so that's the deadline. That's the assignment deadline. And guys, here we go. The group link is in the chat. Please just click on the group link and join in the group so that you can get all the files and assignment. Yes, I gave an assignment. I gave it. Yes, Shiva. There was an assignment yesterday. Really simple assignment, but I gave it. What project will be built? We'll build it tomorrow. Don't worry. I'll tell it to you. Don't worry. And when we will get certificate, don't worry about it, Sambhav. Don't worry about it. Once we complete it, then in few days, once we see like what is your attendance and if you have submitted all the projects or not, depending on that, we'll dispatch the certificate. So don't worry about it. Don't worry about the certificates right now. We have to focus on the things that we are learning here. Okay. Okay. So guys, everyone, please tell me. Now today we are going to see like a lot of things. Today we're going to see props. Today we're going to see about states. We're also going to talk about how to pass data between components. We're going to see how to read input fields value. We're going to see how to display a list. So we're going to see a lot of things today. We have a lot of things planned. Okay. And tomorrow we're also going to see some other like concept of hooks and everything. Actually, today we'll discuss the concept of hooks. So like we have a lot of things to do today. So just tell me, everyone, are we guys excited? Are we excited, everyone? Please tell me. Just give me a cheer, everyone in the chat. Are we excited, everyone, for today's session? We are going to do a lot of things. Yesterday we did basics. Today we are going to read input fields value, display the list, and we're going to see the props. We're going to see state and a lot of things. Okay, that is amazing. Okay. So now let's get back to the editor and let's see what we did yesterday. So yesterday we created a simple component. Okay. Yesterday we created a simple component named header. Okay. And the header was simply displaying my name. That's it. And we also, okay, let me just close this terminal. I don't need it actually. So let me just close it. And here we go. Okay, fine. Now, just a recap for yesterday, just a 1 minute recap so that you guys can like gel up in this. So yesterday we created a component called header. In that we had a variable called name and we simply displayed it. And now we also know that this is not HTML, this is JSX, which looks like HTML. Okay. And then we basically loaded this component on the app.js because only the app component loads in the browser, right? So we have to load each and everything that we create on the app component. So here we go. That's how we do it. And now we also have understood how to import things and also how to export things. And remember, anytime you want to import something, you have to export it. Otherwise, it will not work. Okay. So this is all we did yesterday. Now today, the first thing that we're going to talk about is props. And after that, we'll deal with states. And after that, I'll show you how to read input fields value and different things. But for the starters, let's start with something called as props. Okay, everyone. So now, first of all, just like every time, just like every essentials. Let's first talk about what exactly is a prop. Okay. So basically, props stand for properties. Props stands for properties, and props is nothing but properties of a component. Prop is nothing but properties of a component. Now, by default, a component has a lot of properties. Internally, by default, a component has a lot of properties. And we normally use them, and don't worry, we'll see it in future how to use all of that. But today, we're going to see one very important use of props. Props can be used to pass data from parent component to child component. Props can be used to pass or to transfer data from parent component to child component, like this. I'll tell you. So you'll understand it. Okay. So first of all, we are learning props. Props are nothing but properties, okay, that a component has. And every component that you create has something called as props or properties. Okay. A lot of properties are inbuilt, but we can also create or pass our own properties to a component. Now, let's see how do they look like. So you can do this. Guys, everyone, please focus. Everyone, please focus here. Okay. Now let's say I want to pass an additional property. I want to pass an additional data to the header component from the app component. What can I do for it? What you can do is you can go in the tag and simply pass a property, just like an attribute, simply pass a property. So let's say, for example, I'm passing like something called as age here. Let's say I pass something called as age. Okay. And I pass a value of, let's say, 25, like this. So basically now this age is nothing but a property of a header component. This age is nothing but a property of header component in which I'm passing a value of 25. And from where I'm passing it from the app component. So basically I'm passing a age property to the header component with the value 25. So now this is one property. Let me just silence my mobile phone. Yeah, that's cool. So basically now I'm passing this age property. I can see a lot of people. Guys, please see if your screen is not clear, that might be an internet issue. Because see, if I'm also watching it live on YouTube, I can see the whole thing. It's like perfectly clear. So either do one thing, just increase the video quality in your phone or in your laptop, or it might be the internet connection. So just wait for some time. Maybe it will become clear because I can see and I can watch it like in perfectly fine quality. Okay, everyone. So a lot of people, I think there are like a lot of people saying there's a problem in the quality. Just change the quality in your mobile phone. It will work. Okay, perfect. So guys, I hope you're understanding, everyone. Props are nothing but properties, and each and every component that you create in React has properties. A lot of properties are inbuilt, and we're going to see them in future. But right now, I'm showing you how to create custom properties for a component. Okay, and the main one of the important uses of properties are you can pass data from parent to the child, and here we are doing it. So now see, we are currently in the app component. Okay, and from the app component where I'm loading the header component, I'm saying, okay, fine, I'm passing a property called age with a value of 25 in the header component. Are we clear with this, everyone? Guys, are we clear with this? Please tell me. So now from the app component, I'm in the parent component. From here, I'm loading the header component here. Okay, and I'm passing age property with the value of 25 to the header component. So the first step is done. Now this is how you pass a custom property from a parent component to a child component. So I'm passing it to the header component. But now the next step, how can I use the property? How can I use this age property in my child component? That is nothing but the header component. How can I use this age property that app is passing in here in my header component? How can I use it? So now to use it, the first thing that you need to do is you have to go in your header, you have to go in your header function, and you have to use something called as props. You have to just give this name, props. Okay, by this object or by this thing you can access all the properties. Now this props holds all the inbuilt properties as well as the properties that you are passing. So this props object holds all the inbuilt properties and also the properties that you're passing. So let's see, can I use age here? Yes, definitely. By like let's do this. Let's create one more h1 and let's say age. And now here, if I want to access age, I'm simply going to do props dot whatever was the property name. So in this case, it is age. So I simply go here and write props dot age because it will come in props. So remember, guys, whatever properties you're passing from here will come inside this props object. And to access it, you simply have to use props dot whatever property you want to access. Now remember, this props object also has a lot of inbuilt properties, but we are not using it right now. We are simply using it. We are simply using the properties that we are passing from the parent component, and that's it. Okay. And now if I save it, let's run this actually. So let's go on a browser. Let me just take a browser here, and let me just put localhost colon 3000. And now we should get it. Here we go. Age, and it is 25. Is it cleared, everyone? Guys, are we clear with this? Everyone, please tell me. See, guys, don't think about the internal properties right now. Don't think about the inbuilt properties. Right now, just try to understand how am I passing the property. Okay, so currently we are in app component where we are loading the header component. Okay, currently we are in app component where we are loading the header component. That means header becomes the child and app component is the parent, because we are loading header inside app. Okay, so from the app component, we are passing a property to the header component. And here we go. This is how you access it. Every property that you pass will come inside this props object, and this is how you access it. Props dot the property name. And that's it. Yes, yes, Vasik, don't worry, buddy. Wait for some time. Right now we are at props. We'll move to state in some time. Then I'll tell you what is use state. Don't worry about it. Yes, 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 yes. Is app always parent? Yes, app is always parent because it's the main component, right? You load each and every component there. So app is always a parent. Simple. Now, in future, if you create one more component and load it in the header, in that case, header will become a parent. So it's just a hierarchy. If you load something inside header, header also becomes a parent. And if you load header in something else, that thing becomes parent. So it's just a hierarchy. Whenever you load a component in some other component, like let's for example say you're loading a component in B component, B becomes parent, A becomes child. And for some other component, A can also be a parent if you're loading something. So it depends on where you're loading your components. That's it. Is that clear, everyone? And yes, creation. In this case, app always will be parent because app is the final one, right? Everything that you create will be loaded inside app. So yes. Is that clear, everyone? Are we cleared? Guys, everyone, please tell me. Are we cleared? Please tell me. Okay. Now let's say we also pass a name property. Let's say I'm passing one more property. Okay. So I pass a name property. Let's say I pass name, and the value I'm passing is Saurabh. I pass name Saurabh. That means I'm passing one more property. Can I access it? Yes, definitely. Now let's say we remove this. We remove this. I'm removing the inbuilt variable. I simply remove the variable that was in the header component. Now it's not there. Now guys, you can see that I'm passing a name property. I'm passing a name property here. So now everyone, come on, give me answer. How can I access it here? Come on, guys, tell me. How can I access it here? Everyone, how can I access the name property that I'm passing from app.js into header component? Everyone, come on, tell me. Guys, give me answers. Everyone. No, we cannot directly write name, right? We cannot write name. It's not a local variable. It's a property. So in which object it comes? I told you, right? Every property that you pass from here goes in what? In this props object. So to access it again, you have to mention what? Props dot name. Simple. And that's it. Done. Done. Okay. And that's it. See, guys, remember, it's not about only a single property. Every property that you pass here will go inside this props object. This props is an object. And to access any property, you will always use this props object. You don't have to mention another props. You have to mention props only one time. That's it. That's it. Is that clear, everyone? So now if you see, I also have the name. I also have the age. That's it. So guys, are we cleared? Please tell me. Everyone, are we cleared with this? Okay. That's it. Every property is declared in app component. No, Shivam, no, not that's not the case. As I told you, in future you'll create some more component, right? And maybe you're gonna load it in some other component. From there also you can pass properties. Just remember one thing: wherever you are loading the component, from there you can pass a property. Simple. Not only about app. It's not only about app. In this case, it's app because we only have one component right now. Now, see, guys, what you can do is you can reuse a component. You can do it like this. Age 22. Let's say I pass name as anything like, let's say Gaurav, something like this. Here we go. So now I'm reusing the header component. So I used it one time, I'm using it two times now. So I'm simply reusing the header component. And now let's see what I get. Here we go. This is for the first component, and this is the second time I'm using it. So basically I'm loading two components and both are header component. This is the reusability. I created the component only once, but I'm using it two times. Can we import the name or age directly in the place of prop in function declaration? There is no need to do it, Shashri. There is no need to do it. That's why they have given you this simplicity so that you don't have to import variables here and there. That will make things messier, right? If you are importing like 10 variables, 100 variables, how many times you'll write the import? Think of it like that. Yes, Shivam. Yes, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. As I told you in the start, that every component has props. Every component by default has props, and it has a lot of internal properties. But now in this case, we are using our custom properties, and everything goes in that. Is that cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? So yes, it's like a predefined object you have in React. It's like a predefined object you have in React, and every property that you pass will come in this. That's it. Okay. Which are internal props? There are a lot of internal properties. Like this name and age are two properties that I created. But props also has some other properties like navigation, like routing properties. But we are not using it right now. In future, you're going to see it. So don't worry about it. Okay. Don't worry about it. Yes, Deepak, I saw you. Actually, I talked to the team, but the problem is that now those things are unlisted from YouTube. So they are only with the sessions, like they are in that group only. We cannot like provide it outside that group. Okay, but I'm still talking to the team, so don't worry about it. I'll give you some hints about it. Don't worry. I think you're on the community, right? So just write this question and tag me there so that I can like help you in there. Okay, so just go on the community and just write your question there and just tag me and I'll provide you Deepak. Okay. Okay. That's it. I hope you guys understood props, right, everyone? I really hope you guys understood props. Everyone, please tell me. Okay, and if you want to like see like how many things it props has, if I want, you can simply print it maybe. But right now there is no need to print it actually. Just leave it for now. There's actually no need of doing it. There's no like we don't have to make it confusing. Okay. Yes, 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 Shubham. That's what I'm doing. We are using props here. And don't worry about usage. When we create the project, you'll see how to use it. But right now, just try to understand what I'm like doing here. Okay. Just don't go anywhere else. Right now, just try to understand what I'm doing. Once we start creating the project, you'll see the uses as well. So everyone, are we cleared with props? Everyone, are we cleared with props? That's it. So what I'm telling is, again, one more recap. Props is like an inbuilt object. It is in each and every component. So every component you create has a props object, okay, in which all the properties related to that components are stored. Now there are a lot of internal properties, but right now we are not using them. Okay, and these are the properties that I can also pass, and they also go in the same object, the props object, so you can also access them. Simple. Okay, that's it, guys. Don't go extra in this case. Right now just try to understand whatever I'm like doing here, and all about like all the other things we can learn it in future. Right now focus on this. Don't get confused with other things. Okay, that's it. So this is like mostly right now all about props. Okay, now just to give an example, see, you can also do this. Like I think a lot of people are confused here. What if I have multiple components? I'll show you. Let's say I create one more component. Okay, just to make your confusion clear, let's say I create one more component. Okay, everyone, and let's say I call it like nav. I call it a nav component. So I simply say nav.js, or let's say I call it navlink.js. Yes, yes. If you create another component, see, who is asking this? Where is the question? Yep, Shiva. See, buddy, what is our component name, buddy? I think you have not attended yesterday's session, right? Shiva, what is your component name? It's header, right? That's why we're using this tag name. If your component name is different, you can also use different tag. Simple. Is that clear, Shiva? Sambhav, it's again just a preference. You can also take everything small. It totally works. It's just like how a lot of people do it and how I do it. So in this case, it's not like a case sensitive thing. You don't have to like take uppercase. It's not a mandatory thing. It's again up to you. You can also take lowercase thing. It's totally fine. Is that clear? So Sambhav, it's just a personal preference. You can also take small letters. It's totally fine. Okay, perfect. Okay, now just to make your confusion clear, I have created one more component, navlink.js. So let's go and create the component there. Okay, so let's do it very fast. So it's a functional component. So function navlink. Here we go with the component, and let's say it simply returns. It simply returns like a div, or let's say it simply returns an h1. Okay, so let's say it simply returns an h1 or h3, maybe h3, and that's it. And let's say I just go here and write export default nav link. And now guys, everyone focus here what I'm doing. Now see, now I'm not gonna load nav link on app. I'm gonna load nav link component into header component. Okay, so I'm gonna come here and I'm gonna load nav link here, the nav link component. That means I have to import the nav link component. So let's import it. So import nav link from nav link. Now let's use it. Function and file name should be same. Again, it's a preference, but mostly try to do that thing so that by only reading the file name, you can understand what component is inside. Okay, it's not like a mandatory thing, but it's a good recommendation. Banot, it's a good recommendation, buddy. Okay, so it's a recommended thing that your file names and function name or the component name should be same so that it's easier for you to understand. Otherwise, it will be really confusing. Okay, now guys, see everyone. Now I'm loading the navlink component here. Okay, so navlink, and you don't need extra tag, just close it like this, and that's it. Now let's go to navlink and let's write simply like hello. Doesn't matter. Now, you guys tell me now who is the parent of navlink component? Everyone, come on, tell me. Who is the parent of navlink component? Is it app or is it header? Guys, everyone, come on, tell me. Simple, right? So a lot of people are asking, like, will app will always be the parent? It depends where you load the component. That's what I'm telling here. It depends. So now I created a navlink component. I loaded it in header, and the header component is getting loaded into app. Simple. Now you can also pass a prop here. So let's say I pass a property here like this, navlink, and let's say I pass like name. Let's say like this, home. I'm passing a name property and value as home. Now you guys tell me, what should I do here to use it, to use that property? So again, I have to use this props object, and here I can go, instead of this writing this hello, I can write props dot, what is the property name, guys? The property name was name. So I can simply go here and write props dot name. Simple. Save it, and now you'll see it. See, I have home and home twice because I'm using the header component twice. So all of these things are getting loaded twice. Simple. Are we cleared, everyone? Exactly, Harish Javed. Exactly. We are simply creating a tree. That's it. That's it. Can we assign value of props in the component file rather than? Yes, you can do it. Why not? You can also create normal variables and directly use it. But I just wanted to show you that you can also do this. We can do all of these things by just creating normal variables. But you should also know, right, how to pass data. In this case, I'm passing data from app. This data is an app component, right? I'm passing it into header, right? And this data, this home, is in header component. I'm passing into nav, right? So see, if we want, we can also do everything in normally, right? We can simply create normal variables and directly use it. We don't even need the header component, navlink component, but we have to understand, right? So that in future, you can understand how actually React works. Okay, but yes, if you wanted, you can simply create normal variables. But then how are we using React? But then how will you pass data from one component to other component, right? This is the way, using props. Okay, that's it. Shubham, yes, you can create multiple functions, but the thing is, you should always create one component, right? A file should only contain one component. In this case, it's not a function. Like, it's a function. It is a function, but it's also a component. So if you create one more function outside it, how will you identify which component you have? That will become confusing, right? So think of it like a component. Don't think of it like a function. Think of it like a component. Is that cleared? Okay, perfect. I hope everything is cleared. Okay, now guys, let's move a little bit ahead and let's try to see something else as well. Okay, so now I want you guys to understand the next thing. So let's say everyone, yes, I have exported default. See, you have to export everything. Simple. You have to export everything. That's it. You have to export everything so that you can import it. Okay, guys, please focus everyone. Now I'm going to do something really important. Okay. So for now, let me again remove one header from here. I only want to use one single header, and let me remove the props from here. Let me remove the props from here. I want to show you something. Okay. So now I have loaded my header here. Okay. Now I have loaded my header here. Now there is only one header, and now I'm not passing any props. Now I'm not passing any props. That means these two props will not be available. This props.name and props.age. So let me remove it. And now we don't even need this props parameter. You don't need it because right now you're not passing any props. So you're not going to use any props. So you don't need it. Simply remove it. Okay. Now guys, let's move ahead. Now I simply have nav link. Okay. Now everyone, please focus. Guys, please focus. And a lot of people are asking, can we declare more than one component in a single file? You should not do it. That's not a recommended thing. You should never do it. If you want, yes, you can work around with it, but you should never do it. It's a bad practice. Is that clear? So it's all for your easiness. That's why we are creating different component in different files. It's all for our easiness. Yes, you can. Why not? At the end, it's JavaScript. You can do everything in a single file, but that's not a recommended thing, right, Vignesh? Yes, you have to then find out to how to work with it. Simple. If I create 3 components in a single file, again I have to find out how to work with it properly. Simple. Okay, everyone. Now please focus. Now, let's say I create an array here. Everyone, please focus. I'm creating an array here. So let's say const nav data equals. Okay. So I pass, let's say I have like home. Now I'm going to show you how to reuse your components using loops. Okay, everyone, please focus. Home. Then let's say I pass about. Then let's say I pass, let's say contact. And then let's say I pass like feedback, something like that. Okay. So I pass all the things like this. Everyone, please focus here now. Now, in this, I want to pass this home. So how can I pass it? It's an array, right? It's nav data, it's an array. So what can I do here? Now I need to use JavaScript. So again, curly braces, and then nav data, my array of 0. Let's say if we're able to pass it, save it. Here we go. I have home. Simple. Okay. Now I want to create one more nav link. So I go here and I put it like this, and I pass 1 there. That means now I have about one more nav link component. Then just like this, I can do this, right? 2. So I'm using the nav link again and again. I'm basically reusing the component. I created the nav link component once, and simply I'm reusing it again and again. That's what you do. You create a component and you reuse it so that you don't have to write a code again and again. That's what you normally do. You simply create one and use it again and again. And right now it's a small component, but in future it can also be a big component that you're using again and again. I'm going to show it to you. Don't worry. I'm going to show it to you. So guys, are we understanding this, everyone? But now this is not clean because I have to write navlink again and again. So can I do it in a different way? Can I perform a looping operation here? Can I perform a looping operation on this navlink? Can we do that? Right. So let's see if we can perform a looping operation here. So yes, if you know JavaScript, there is a loop called map, right? That is something you can use here. So again, you can do this. Everyone, please focus. You can do this. Again, we are writing JavaScript. So again, we need curly braces. Remember, whenever you want to write JavaScript, you have to use curly braces. So curly braces. Now, our array is nav data. So nav data dot map. Inside that, we know that we pass a function. So you can also pass an arrow function here. So let's pass an arrow function. And now it needs 2 parameters, right? It has your data. And it also has index. And then inside this, you can simply pass your nav link. Now you don't have to pass nav data. You can simply pass your data. And that's it. Simple. Here we go. Now nav data dot map. So basically, single data will come in this data variable every time, right? Now I'm going to loop through this array. So first time in this data variable, I'm going to have home. See guys, I'm assuming that you guys know JavaScript, right? For React, you should know JavaScript. So I'm assuming you know a little bit of JavaScript, everyone. So I really hope that you guys know what is map. So simply this map, still I'm going to explain it to you. So this map function is looping through this array, okay? And every time it is looping through the data, for the first time, home will be in this data variable. For the next time, this about will be inside this data variable. For the next time, contact, next time, feedback. So every data will be inside navlink. And that's it. If I save it, let's see. And here we go, the same output. And it's perfectly fine. That's it. So are we cleared, everyone? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared with this? Everyone, are we cleared with this? So that's how you can simply loop through. Everyone, are we cleared? Now, in this case, it was a simple component, navlink, just displaying a H1. It can be a bigger thing. It really can be a really big data. So let's see that as well. So let's say, let's not have this simple component. Let's create one more component. Okay. Let's create one more component. Everyone, index, what is index doing in the function? Map function has an index parameter. Index will simply give you the index of the element. If you need it, you can use it. If you don't need it, leave it. Not a problem at all. Is that clear, Dipen? So index is what do you call? Index is a parameter that is always there with the map function. If you want to use it, you can use it. If you don't want, you can remove it. And it simply gives you the index of the current element. If you need it, you can use it. Okay, now guys, now this was a really simple component. What if I have a really like big component? Like my component has image, my component has like a title, a lot of things. What can I do in that case? Let's see if we can do something in that. Okay. So everyone, please focus. I'm going to create one more component. Okay. I'm going to create one more component here. And one thing you can see here, guys, that everything is going in center. Everything that we are creating is going in center. I don't want this. It's happening because there is a CSS line in the React file that is doing it. So let's remove that. Let's go to this app.css. Okay. And see, you have this text line center. Simply comment this out because this is moving everything in center. Simply comment this out. So inside app.css, there was text line center. And remember, guys, remember this, that you can consider app.css as your global CSS. Any CSS that you want to write, you can write in the app.css. Normally, any CSS you want to write for any component, you can simply go in app.css and write it. So now I comment that, and now the flow is normal. Now everything starts from the start. This is what I wanted, right? This is what we wanted. We wanted everything to start from the start. Simple. Okay. Now let's create one more component. Everyone, please focus. So for some time, let's simply remove it. Let's remove this. We don't need it. Or this, let's just we comment it out. So we have commented it now. Again, what creation? What is the confusion, buddy? Can you tell me what is the confusion? I just told that app.css is nothing but the CSS file that can use like that is something that you can use use it globally, right? For example, if you create any component, you can write CSS for that component in here, and I'm going to show it to you. Don't worry about it. So app.css can be treated as a global CSS for your whole project. So any component that you create, for that you can write CSS here directly in the app.css. And I also told that everything was going in center. It was because of this text line center. So I simply commented it out. That's it. The basic CSS. Right, creation? I hope you're understanding. Okay. So now I simply commented the loading of nav link from my header. Now I'm going to do something else. Once show nav link file, simple. Here we go. It's a simple component returning an h3 element. That's it. Is that clear? Is that clear, creation? Is that clear, Ravi Kansai? Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's create one more component. Okay. So I'm going to show you something. So let's create one more component. Okay. So let's go here and I'm going to create one more component. So one more file, and I'm going to say, let's say I'm going to call it card.js, or let's say we call it service.js. Okay. So let's say like this is like my service. Okay. So I say service.js. Again, So basically here I want to create a simple component that will display a service card like an image, okay, a simple image, a simple title and some dummy text and a button. This is what I want to do. Okay, so let's do it. So again, function. See guys, again I'm creating a component. So function service. In future we're going to need props, so let me write it right now only. In future I'm going to need props, so I simply write it down here. And before writing anything, let me export it so that we never forget to export. So export default service. Now inside this, I'm going to return some good HTML or JSX basically. Now I want to create a simple card structure with like that can have an image, that can have like a title, and that can also have some dummy text. So let's do it. Everyone, let's focus. Okay. I create a simple div. Because that is the only one thing that I'm importing from this file. Is that clear, Vishaka? Because that is the only one thing that I'm importing. If you don't write default, that means you're saying that you can also export. Sorry, not importing, exporting. Okay, so that is the only one thing I'm exporting from this file. If I don't write default, that means in future I can also export anything else from this file. Simple. Okay, I hope you're clear with this. Okay, now let's move ahead. Okay, so someone says I'm trying to install React app, but this error is occurred. What is the error, Priyanka? What is the error? Can you show it to us? Or you can do one thing on the community group, you can paste that error and tag me so that I can see it. So I hope you have joined the group. So just paste your error there so that I can see it. What is the problem? Okay, everyone, now let's focus. So I'm going to create a div. Now let's load this component for some time on the header file. Okay, let's load this component for some time on the header file so that we can see it at least. So now first of all we have to import it. Again we'll write import header, sorry, not header, again service. So import service from /service. Okay, now let's remove it. Actually, let's remove this for some time. We don't need it, right? So let's remove it and let's simply use the service component here so that we can see what we are like creating there. For starters, service. Now we can't see anything, not a problem at all, it's totally fine. Okay, because now we don't have anything here. So in here I'm going to put my image. So let me just write like image, and then after this I want to put a title. So here I'm going to display my title, and then after that I'm going to have a P, and here I'm going to display my, let's say, description, and after that I'm simply going to have a button in which I'm simply going to write read more. Okay, a simple HTML. Let's see what we are generating using this. Here we go. See, now we have image, title, description, and a button. Now let's style it. We also have to write some CSS for it, right? So let's style it. But everyone, are we understanding? So I simply created a service.js file. That means I simply created a service component in which I'm writing something like this. Like I'm simply creating a HTML card. That's it. And I'm loading it on the header.js simply. Now I want to style it. So I'm going to show you how to style this thing now in React. Okay. So now to style it, let's give it some classes. But now there is one really cool thing, or there is one really important that you have to understand here. That in React, you cannot use class keyword. You have to use something called as class name, because class is an already existing used keyword in React. So class is already an existing used keyword in React. So you should never use class. You should never ever use class to give your class names. So that is one difference from HTML. You have to use class name. That's it. Okay, now you can simply go and like says class name. I give it a class name of card. Then let's style it now. Let's style it. So again, we have to go in app.css, and just below here you can start writing your CSS. So CSS for service. I really hope that everyone knows CSS here. So dot card. Okay, let's give it a width of like 300 pixels. or maybe 400 pixels. Let's give it a height like 500 pixels. And let's give it a background color of gray. Let's see if it is working. Here we go. Now we have a card structure here. That's what we wanted. Now we have a simple card structure here. Now in the place of the image, let's put some dummy image. In the place of the image, let's put some dummy image. And before that, I want to give it a class name as well. So class name card-img. Go here and let's do it. Dot card-img. I'm going to give it a width of 100%, a height of. Sir, what if I want to add bootstrap? Don't worry, I'll also show you that. Don't worry, if we get time, tomorrow I'll show you how to add bootstrap. But we cannot skip directly to the main things, right? We also have to understand the real basics. Yes, you can use ID, not a problem at all, Shivam. You can use ID. But for CSS, don't ever use IDs. Okay. So let's give height of like 200 pixels. And let's give it a background color of like red. Here we go. So everyone, are we understanding the things till now? Guys, please tell me. Just want to ask once more. Everyone, are we understanding the things till now? Please tell me, guys. Are we understanding the things till now? Okay. Now let's style the title as well. If you like see it everything one by one, everything is perfectly simple. Right now we have not did anything like tricky here. So class name, let's give it like card-title. I'm just showing you how to like work with the big things instead of the small things. Okay, so let's take card title. Again, go to app.css and let's style it. I simply want to give one thing, that's all. That is padding. Padding of 20 pixels from all around. Here we go. And also, can make cards with multiple ID. Yes, don't worry, Gunjan. We're going to do it. First of all, let's create a simple card, right? Then after that, we'll do everything else. So card description. Let's give it some CSS. Dot card hyphen description. Again, I'm simply going to give it some padding. That's all. Padding maybe 10 pixels. Not again, 20 pixels actually, not 10. And for this, I'm also going to give like margin of 0 because I think it has some margin. Yeah, it was having some margin. I'm thinking I should not give like padding from all the sides every time because it creates a lot of gaps, right? So let's give it like only like a padding left and padding right. That's it. Not from every side. So padding left and padding right, 20 pixel. This as well. Yep, now it's cool. Okay, now let's style the button, guys. So again, class name, card-btn. Yes, you can definitely use Bootstrap. You can definitely use it. Okay, but I think a lot of people here don't even know CSS, so it's like for everyone. Okay, because I think a lot of people are starting, so they don't know Bootstrap. They know basic CSS, so this is for like everyone's understanding. Okay. Yes, we are styling the entire component, Paramveer. Yes, that's what we are doing, right? We are styling the entire card component, and I'll also show you how to like style the entire header component. So don't worry about it. Okay, so card BTN, and let's give it like a padding. Like, so let's give it like padding of 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Let's see what do we get. Yep, 15 and 30. Yeah. So this is the button I wanted. Now that's it. So I think that much style is enough. That's cool. That much style is enough. Okay. Now let me remove the card height. So now the card height will depend upon the content. So let me remove the height because I want the height to be depending upon the content. So I've removed the height. So it looks like this. Simple. And also, I think that much is enough. And let's also do one more thing. Let's give it like a P. Let's give the button a parent, so we can also pad it. Last name, btn parent. Okay. So I give btn parent to this. And now, actually, if I don't need it, I think I can write everything here only. If padding is only the concern, we don't have to write it again and again. We can write everything together. Now we don't even need it. So remove it. Save it. And now let's see. Here we go. So now everything is adjusted perfectly. So this is my dummy content. This is my dummy content. Okay, everyone. Now, whatever data I'm displaying here, I want to change the data with real data. I want to change. I think my props are not working, so it's not showing anything. Ravikant Sai, do one thing, just paste your code once, or just try to match the code with me. And even if it is not working, just paste the code on the group so that I can see what is the problem. Okay? Because until and unless I see your code, I cannot tell what is the problem there. Okay. Now, guys, everyone, please focus. Now, what I want is, I don't want to write this title and description. Okay. So wherever I'm using this service, I want to pass some props. So let's pass it. Let's pass it. Title equals, let's say, like anything. For example, let's say we pass like what can we pass? Let's say one service is web development. Okay. So development, and let's say description is, in future we'll pass some real data, don't worry, but right now let's pass dummy data, and that's it. Image also will pass, but don't worry about it. But right now, let's say we pass these two things: service, title, and description. Now I want to use it here. So guys, what can I do? In the place of title, we can put what? Props dot title, because this is what it's coming, right? Props dot title. In the place of description, we can simply put what? Props dot dsc, because these are the two things we are passing, right? From header, these are the two things we are passing: title and description, and I'm simply using it here. Props dot title, props dot description. Sir, can't we make different CSS files for each component? Yes, Yogesh, you can definitely make it. Yes, we can definitely go for it. But right now, like, we are sticking with this. Okay. Save it now, and let's see. And here we go. See, web development, dummy data. Can we say your nesting components? Yes, 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 exactly. We are nesting service inside header, and header is going inside app. So yes, that's how it works, right? We normally, like, don't even think about React. Let's go in normal HTML. There also you nest components, right? Nest your elements. Here they are like called as components, whatever you create. But there also you nest your things, right? To create a proper web page. So you're doing the exact same thing, nothing else, nothing more. Okay, now guys, see, I can create one more card like this, right? So let's say I pass like app development. So basically now I'm using my card component again and again. And let's say here I'm simply passing dummy data. Now let's see. Here we go. Now we have a web development card and we have an app development card. So we created component only once, a big component. We wrote the whole HTML, the big HTML only once, but we are using it multiple times without even writing that much code. And that's what React gives you: reusability. The component based approach basically gives you reusability. And we are using this big code twice without even writing it twice. We wrote it only once, and now we can use it 100 times. We don't have to write it. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, please tell me, everyone, are we clear with this? Now we are going to make it even more cooler, because now we'll prepare our data in a separate array of objects, and then we'll pass it in a loop, and then we'll create the service cards. Okay. So now let's do it. Now let's remove this nav data. We don't need it. Okay. And now let's say I create my own data. Okay. So I say const services inside my header component, because from here I'm going to pass every data. So const services, I create an array. Okay. And inside that array, I'm going to create the objects. So the first object will have title. So let's pass like web development. Okay. And any dummy, like you can have like any dummy, what you call a description. So let's say DESC. I'm passing like any dummy description. So let me just take the lorem ipsum that we always use. Okay, I think in this page it is not supported. We need an HTML page for it. So let's generate it and come back. Let's go to the index.html page because there VS Code is not supporting it here. So let's go to HTML page. Let's just generate it once. Is it supporting here? It's not. Okay, not a problem. Let's take this commented data. We don't care, right? We need any kind of data. Let's just take this commented data. We don't care about it. So not a problem at all. Let's just take the commented data, don't save anything, and put it in DSC. That's it. And the problem is it has a lot of things in it. Remove this much and put all of them in a single line. And that's it, done. Now, like you can put any dummy data, guys. So I'm just putting this dummy data. So DSC is done. Now you can also have the image. Okay. So you can pass like any image here. So let's take an image URL from here. So let's say web development, something like that. Search image related to it. Okay. Let's go to images. And let's take any image. So let's take like, yeah, this one. I hope it's not really big. Yeah, this much is fine. So now what I can do is I can take the URL from this. So I can say like, okay, let's take this one. Actually, this is looking cool. It's really big, by the way. Which one is smaller? Yeah, we can take this one. So right click, copy the image address and paste it here. So now we also have the image link. So we need three things and we have all the three things. Okay. Now you can just put a comma and create one more object like this. Now you can simply put like app development. Let the content become same. We'll change the image. Let the content be same. So let's say app development. Okay. So let's take like this image. Why not? Let's take this one. It's not that clear. Okay, now it's fine. So right click, copy the image address and put it here. And that's it. So now you have array of objects. Okay, now you simply have array of objects. Is that clear, everyone? So now we have array of objects, and now you know how to do it, right? For this we use state. Yes, Suraj, yes. For this kind of things we use state, but right now we are learning how to display it. So we'll display it. In future, we'll also use state. Right now, data is not dynamic. We are just learning how to display list. That's it. Okay, everyone. So now we can again loop it. So let's do it. Everyone, let's do it. So guys, are we understanding? Now I have prepared the data, and now let's loop it and generate two cards because we have two data. So again, we need to write JavaScript. So again, we need curly braces. So put the curly braces and write services, the array that you have. Our array name is what? Services. Let's take it. So let's put services dot map. No hinting is working in my VS Code. I think my PC is running a little slow today. Not a problem. So we can put like any name here. So I just put service. That with the first data, the data that we are traveling. So first object, second object, and then the index if we need it. And here, now I can write, use the service card. So service. Now from here, I can pass everything. So title property, what I'm going to pass? I'm going to pass service dot title. Then here, description property, I'm going to pass service dot description. Then what is the next property? Image, right? So let's pass image property, and there I'm going to pass service dot image, and that's it. Done. So basically what we did is we are looping through this array. Okay, and every time we are looping it, we know that inside this service variable, the whole object is coming. The single object is coming. So basically, I create this service and I pass service title in the title, service DSC in the description, property, and service image in the image property. And now we can use these three properties there directly. Are we cleared, everyone? Guys, are we cleared? Everyone, are we cleared with this? Please tell me. Guys, so it's a basic JavaScript, right? We are looping it and now we simply pass the service here. So in previously we passed nav link, now we are passing service and we are passing some really big data. It's now not a, like, now it's not a simple data, it's a big data. Okay, now it's not only a nav link like home about it. Now we have like 3 sets of data. So now we are already displaying title and description. Let's also display the image. So let's simply go here and put image src, and in here we simply pass props dot image, and that's it in the src. That's it, props dot image. And now let's also style it because image is really big, right? So we have to style it a little. So let's style it. So let's give it a class name of, like, let's say card image class, so that we can like adjust the width and height. Okay, so let's adjust it. Card hyphen image have a width 100%. And also to the card img, I'm going to give overflow hidden so that any image that is going out will not be seen. That's it. Let's see. Oh, there's an issue. Where is an issue? I think we have made a mistake somewhere, maybe. See guys, there is an issue here actually. 10, 12. I think we forgot comma somewhere, maybe. Okay, we forgot the comma here. That was the problem. We forgot the comma in the object. That's it. Here we forgot the comma at the end of the property. That was the error. And here we go. See? Now we have the two cards properly flowing. Is that clear, everyone? So now you can create as many cards as you want. And now if you want, like, you can remove the background color gray, you can make it white. Now you can also do this, guys. See, I can also do this. So what I can do is I can also give this like a class. So let's say class name, and give this a class of like container. Okay, so let me simply pass container here. Now let's also style it. So dot container, let's give it a width of like 80% and margin left like 10%. So it will be like go here a little. Yeah, that's fine. And now I want these cards to be aligned horizontally. So we can simply go like flex direction. Okay, first of all, this pass display of flex. Here we go. They go like this. Simple, easy. Now you can create any more cards if you want. Like, just go on and add data, and a new card will be created for you. So now you just have to go and add a data, and the new card will be created for you like this. So simple. Paste it, and you'll have multiple cards. Simple as hell, easy. Now what you can do is you can remove the red color from here. And if you want, you can also remove the gray color from the background of the card. Move it. And that's it. You have 4 cards and enough. And you can also like do this, for example, like just a CSS. Now guys, see, this is what, like, this is a CSS. So you can do anything. Okay. So you can do flex wrap. Let's see if it is going down. Yep. And you can also give like justify content space between. So you can adjust it like this if you want. Simple as well, easy. 70%. Yep. And also 15 here. That's it. That's how you can adjust your cards. Yes, we can definitely use Bootstrap. Yes, why not? But I think a lot of people here don't know Bootstrap, right? So that's why I think for them CSS will be really helpful. So that's how, guys, you can add a simple things. You can like create multiple cards. And if you want, also go here on top of this header, and simply inside this container, you can also add like just actually above the container. So I think I have to create one more parent now. That's an issue. I have to create one more parent, but that's something I don't want. So let's come to app.js for this case. Come to app.js, and above the header, just put a h1. H1. Like this is just for example, guys. Okay. Like I'm just doing it because I don't want to create any more divs in this case. So you can just put all services like this. And here we go. Now it's not in center because it's needed in the container. So now guys, I have to do like a lot of CSS for this if I wanted to adjust in his, but I really hope that you guys are understanding this. Everyone, you know, right? If I just put the H1 in the container again, then I have to change the flexible boxes thing. I have to change the flex direction, then I have to adjust it again. So that's why I'm not doing it. But I just wanted to show that you can do this. Put an all services on top of it, and that's it. It will work. Or actually, let's do it. Let's do it. What I have to do is I have to go in header, create one more div here. So that it will become a parent. Now here I can just go and put an H1. All services, and you can give it a class, and then you can move it in the center or wherever you want. It will simply work. It's totally up to you. Okay, like you can give it a class, like, and then you can move it with margin left or whatever you want. Okay, so class name, let's say container hyphen title, like that. Save it. Go in CSS. Margin left of 15%. Now it should be there. Here we go. So you can do it like this. Simple, easy. So everyone, are we clear with this, guys? So inline CSS works or not? It works. It works, but the way of writing it is different because you know that it's not HTML, it's JSX. So it works. So for everyone who is asking for inline CSS, I'll tell you how to write it. Remember, guys, let's say I remove this CSS. Everyone, please focus here now. Let's say I remove it. I don't want to write it like this. Okay. I want to give margin left by using inline CSS. But as I told you, it is not HTML. Okay. So let me remove all of this. As I told you, it is not HTML. It is JSX. That means it's JavaScript. It is not HTML. Internally, everything is getting created using JavaScript. That means you cannot like normally write CSS. You cannot normally write your CSS like this, style, and then double quotes you can put. No, it doesn't work like that. Okay. Here you have to put JavaScript CSS like this. You have to create this style equals brackets, and then inside this, you have to write like this. If you know JavaScript, then you know this. Like this. Or whatever you want. Am I making a mistake here? Yeah. And that's how it should be working now. Here we go. Perfect. So this is what you have to do. Style, then your JavaScript area, and then inside that you create an object and then pass all your CSS properties just the way you write it in JavaScript. That means your normal inline CSS doesn't work here. Your normal inline CSS doesn't work here because it's not HTML. It's internally JavaScript XML. It's JSX. So you have to write it like this: style, then brackets, and then inside that again put one more curly braces just to create an object. Inside that you can simply pass your everything: margin left, background color. But remember, you cannot pass it like this. Normal CSS doesn't work. You cannot pass it like this. This will not work. This normal CSS property margin left will not work. You have to write it the way you write it in JavaScript, like this: margin left, background color, font size, like that. So guys, are we cleared? Everyone, are we cleared? Guys, please tell me, are we cleared? So that's how you display data in React. That's how you loop things and display data in React. Okay, and that's how props work. Now see, now I really hope that you understood how props are useful, because I think in the start, when I explained you props, you guys were confused, like how the props are working, like what can be the use of props. If I can do everything with variables, normal variables, what is the use of props? This is the use of props. Again, see guys, if you want, you can create everything in normal HTML. You can actually create everything in a single page, then what is the use of React? Then what is the use of reusability? Right? You can create everything in a single page. So this is what you have to do. We are now simply reusing the component. We only wrote this HTML of card once and we are using it 10 times, 15 times. That's what React is doing for you. Component based approach. You created a component and now you're reusing it. And now to pass data, you simply used props. You simply created properties, and to access it, you're using the props object. Simple. I really hope that now everyone understood what is the use of props and what is the use of passing data from parent to child component. Because if you want to reuse the child component and if you want to pass different data to each and every child, you have to use props. Shruti, this is how you write internals inline. Sorry, internal or inline? Internal. You don't write internal CSS here. You normally don't write internal CSS here, Shruti. You write it like this. This is like a way of working with inline. You don't write any internal CSS here. It's not an HTML file, right? You write internal CSS only in HTML files. It is not an HTML file. You don't write internal CSS. Is that clear, Shruti? Okay, I really hope you're cleared now. Yes, exactly. Either go for external or write it like this. And you know that writing it like this is messier. Your code will become long and messy. So it's always great to write external. Yes, Vivek, that is what you can. Yeah, that is one thing you can do. You can create object. Why not? Okay, so everyone, are we cleared? Are we cleared with props and are we cleared with displaying data and reusing components? So are we clear with the concept of components and props now? Because now we have to move to state. Okay, so I really hope that everyone is cleared with props. Everyone is cleared with reusing the components and creating it and how to map things and display. Now we have to move to the next thing or the next step, that is state. Okay, I really hope that everyone understood everything. Okay, that is perfect. And I think there is one more thing I want to like show you. Okay, if I go in console, there might be an error that I want to show you. Is there an error? Let's see. Yes, there is error. Okay, so guys, see, there is an error here. It's very easy to solve. What it is saying, let's read it out. Each child in a list should have a unique key. Each child in a list should have a unique key. That means in React, if you're looping and creating elements, you have to give a key to each element inside the loop so that React can identify it while passing your, like, while comparing the natural DOM to the virtual DOM. Okay, so that is really important. That means what React says, that each of your component should have a unique key so that React can identify each and every element uniquely. So when you create a loop, when you generate elements using loop, each and every element looks same to React. So React gets confused, like how can I understand each and every component is different? Okay, so for better understanding of React, you have to give each and every component that you create using loop a unique key so that each and every component can be identified differently and it can be compared differently while comparing it with the virtual DOM or the real DOM. So for that, what you can do is you simply have to use a key attribute. But now, what will you pass here that can be unique? What will you pass here that can be unique? If I pass A, this A will be for everyone. If I pass B, this B will be for everyone. What can I pass that is unique? So we know that for every element, there is a unique index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can simply pass the index here because we know that for every unique element, there is an index. So simply pass the index. Yes, you can also pass the timestamp. Why not? But I don't think that's a good thing because what if like the loop is fast or slow? It also depends on that, right? Yes, I'll definitely explain it. And now the error is gone. Okay. So I think someone is asking, can you explain what is the difference between React DOM versus virtual DOM? I'll tell you. Okay, I'll tell you. See, now when like I'll show you. I'll tell you how React works. Okay. Now you know, like if you're from HTML background, if you're from JavaScript background, you already know what is DOM, right? Basically, your HTML code is converted into a tree. Okay, and that tree is now rendered on the output. So that tree is considered as a DOM, or you can also call it a DOM tree. So when you write an HTML code, okay, and when you execute that into the browser, your HTML code is basically forms a tree that is called as DOM, a DOM tree. And by reading that DOM tree, your output is generated. That means the collection of your HTML elements is nothing but the DOM. The collection of your HTML elements is nothing but the DOM. And I really hope that everyone knows this. I'm just like going through it very quickly so that we don't use a lot of time. So a DOM is nothing but collection of your HTML elements. That's it. Is that clear, everyone? Guys, are we getting clear with this? So whatever HTML code you write, okay, whatever HTML code you write, it gets converted into a DOM, and browser reads that DOM and generates the output for you on the page. So that DOM is very important. Okay, that basically browser keeps it with itself. Okay. This is like a basic HTML thing. I think in the HTML essentials also I explained what is DOM exactly. Okay, so for all the people who don't know the basics of HTML, you can just go. I think 1 week back I took a session for HTML essentials. There I explained what exactly is DOM. Okay, so you can go to that session and watch it again. But just for now, think of it like this. When you write your HTML code and when you execute on the browser, your HTML elements are converted into a DOM tree. Okay, that's it. That's what you call as a DOM. And by reading the DOM tree, you display your data, like you display your elements on the web page. Simple. Okay, so that is DOM. And browser keeps the DOM. Browser has the DOM. So basically, the tree of your HTML document, the tree of your HTML elements is considered as DOM. Is that clear, everyone? Now that is DOM. Now React, what React does is, oh, I'll tell you. Let me open a Jamboard. Now, normally when you work, there is only DOM. When you work normally, there is only something called as DOM. But now, when you work with React, there is one really cool thing. There is one really important thing that React does. And I'm going to explain it to you now. Okay. So let me clear it. Now, guys, see. So when you write an HTML code, okay, you know that basically a tree is created. Okay, you know that a tree is created like this. Let's say your HTML, then you have the body, then you have the head, then inside body you might have like an H1, you might have a like a P, and you can have like a div. Okay, so this is what happens. You write an HTML code. When you execute it on the browser, when you execute your HTML code on the browser, a tree is created, and that tree is considered as DOM, and the browser reads that tree and generates output for you. So in this case, the tree looks like this. HTML has two childs, body and head. Body, inside body you have H1, you have div, and you have P. This is your tree. Okay. Now in React, how React works, it creates an exact copy. Now again, React is a web development framework, right? So again, in this also, the DOM will be created. When your React executes your application internally in the browser, again, the DOM is created that generates the output for you. But in React, there's one more thing that is created. An exact copy of this thing is created. An exact copy of this thing is created. Okay. Internally, an exact copy of this thing is created. Please, everyone, focus. I'm going to tell you what is the use of it. Rachit, please don't spam the chat, buddy. I'm reading your doubts. I'll solve it. Don't worry, buddy. But let's finish this first of all, right? Rachit, please don't spam the chat, buddy. Please don't spam the chat. Okay. So an exact copy of your DOM is created internally and it is handled internally. Okay. An exact copy. And this exact copy is considered or known as something called as virtual DOM. So it's like a real DOM. I don't know how to copy in Jamboard actually. I am really like, I don't use it a lot. I only use it in lectures. So I have to learn it. I have to actually learn in how to use Jamboard. Okay. So this is your real DOM and this is your virtual DOM. React does this. Now what happens? Why is React doing this? So now, if at any point of time, any data changes, if at any point of time, any data changes, okay, now normally what happens? When you don't create website using React, let's say you create it normally. Now what happens? When you change anything, you have to reload the whole page to see the changes. You refresh it, you reload the whole page to see the changes, right? That's what normally happens, right? That means even if I change H1's data, I have to reload the whole page to see the data. That means the DOM is created again. The DOM is created again. So if I'm doing normal HTML, and even if I go and change something in H1 or the H1's data is also changed, the whole page is loaded again. That was happened, right? The whole component tree is created again. The whole DOM is created again, not only that H1. And that's a really costly operation. And that's why in React, you have a concept of virtual DOM. Now, what happens is in React, whenever you change something internally in your code, or whenever it's changed, whenever some data or whenever an element is changed in React, first of all, the virtual DOM, that is the lightweight copy of your real DOM, is updated. So let's say I changed something in the div. So now this div has been updated in the virtual DOM. Now, React compares both the DOMs. React compares both the DOMs and sees what is changed. So it finds out that, okay, fine, HTML is not changed, body is not changed, head is not changed, H1 is not changed, P is not changed, only div is changed. So let's do one thing. Let's simply copy this div here. That's it. Let's simply replace the div, and that's it. That means only div got reloaded, not the whole DOM. So React keeps a virtual DOM internally to keep track of the changes, and when loading it, React compares the virtual DOM and the real DOM, because on the browser, real DOM is loaded, not the virtual DOM. So virtual DOM is an internal tracking thing of React. Internally, it maintains it. And while loading, it compares both of them and checks what are the changes. And only the things that are changed are replaced, not the whole DOM. Is that clear? So that is what is virtual DOM, and that's why React keeps it, so that applications can be faster, and every time the whole DOM is not loading. Is that cleared? Is that cleared? Single, why it is I think I explained yesterday, right? Why it is called single page application? Because you don't create multiple pages. You simply have a single HTML page. It's not relating to single page applications. It's not getting related to single page applications creation. Yesterday I explained, right, why it is called single page applications. No, 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 Rohit V. Live server refreshes the page, right? Live server refreshes the page. That is different. It is happening internally. Don't worry about it. This thing is happening internally. Live server is something that whenever you save changes in your code, I'm not talking about saving changes. I'm talking about data changing internally, dynamically. Is that cleared? I hope it is clear to everyone. Okay. Okay, that is really cool. That is really cool. Perfect. Okay. Now, Sudhir is saying without refreshing called as SPA. No, actually, SPA is not about refreshing. SPA about how many pages you're using in your website. In React application, you have a single page, right? Yesterday I explained why it is called SPA, why it is called a single page application. Why whatever you create with React is called a single page application, because you only have one page. That's it, index.html. And you create components, and you simply replace and put components on that page. You don't change the page. That's why it is called SPA. Is that clear, everyone? Okay, that's amazing. So SPA is the different concept. This is like only to load, only to change some data, so that the whole DOM is not loaded again. Okay, so that the whole DOM, so that we can like manage that costly operation of loading the whole DOM, so that we can save time. That's all. So that, okay, fine. If this div is changed, replace the div. If this P is changed, replace the P. Don't change everything. Don't load everything again. And SPA is why we call it SPA, because we only have a single page. That's it. So it's different. Yes, exactly, Shivam. It's similar to Ajax. Exactly. It's a concept of Ajax only. Partial refreshment. Yes. Okay. That's cool. Now let's remove it. Okay. And now see, guys, this is the concept that you should know in your mind. You're not never going to use it. This is just a theory that you should know. That's it. And that is why you have to pass a key, so that React can identify each element separately. And if any element is updated, it can change it, not the whole list. And that's why React needs a key. Is that clear, everyone? So that in the virtual DOM, it can maintain all the elements separately. Even this element, this element, this element. Even if they are creating using same components, they should be maintained separately, so that if anything changes in this card, it can be replaced. If anything changes in this card, it can be replaced. That's why you have to pass a key, so that React can maintain each and every card uniquely. Okay, I hope everyone is cleared now. Guys, everyone, are we cleared? Please tell me. So that's why you have to pass a key when you're using a loop. so that each and every element can be maintained separately in the virtual DOM. Okay, I really hope we are cleared. Guys, everyone, please tell me, are we cleared? Can we move ahead now? Okay. Now we're going to see today's last concept, and that is again one of the really important concepts in React. Okay, so let's move ahead. Can I create multiple page web application using React? I don't think there's a need of it. You will get the feeling of multiple pages. Why you should like React is not even made for that. If you want that, then you can like normally create normal applications. Like you will get the feeling of multiple pages, but you are only dealing with one page. That is the benefit of React, right? So if you don't want that, you simply like we don't have to use React in that case. Simple. Okay. Now, guys, let's move ahead. Okay, and for some time, let's remove the header from the app component because now we're going to see really important thing. So let's remove the header. So if we remove the header, everything will go away. Okay, now there's nothing on the page. Simple. Now the page is completely empty. Okay, now the page is completely empty. So now let's move ahead and let's see the next thing. Okay, and before seeing the next thing, I want to explain you what is a hook in React, because I think nowadays a lot of people are asking it everywhere. What is a hook? What is a hook? What is a hook? Okay, so I'll tell you, hooks in React are nothing but a function. That's it. Hooks in React are nothing but a reusable function. Okay, hooks in React are nothing but a reusable function. And there are a lot of inbuilt hooks. That means there are a lot of inbuilt functions that you can use to do a certain things. So hooks is just a name given to a particular set of function. Hooks is basically the name of that category, because these functions provide you something and you're using it for some reason. So they have just given it a name like hook. That's it. But at the end, they are nothing but a function. That's it. So hook is nothing but in React, it's a simple reusable function. They have given it a name like this because we're going to use it for some reason. Okay, there are different functions. Okay, so basically they have created a set of functions that they know that you're going to use for some things, and they have named it hooks. That's it. So hooks at the end are nothing but simple reusable functions. That's it. And we have different functions for different things. So let's not call it hooks, let's simply call it functions. That's it. If you call it hooks, if you think of it like what the hook is some programming concept, no, it's just a name given to those kind of functions which we're going to use for certain things. Is that clear, everyone? So hooks are nothing. At the end, they are also a function. Simple. Just like your component is a function, hook is also a function. That is it. Okay, everyone, are we clear with this? So hooks in React are nothing but a reusable function. And now we're going to see one of the hooks today. We're going to see one of the hooks today. That's it. Okay, everyone, are we ready to see it, guys? Okay, I really hope that you understood hooks. So don't like get confused. Hooks are nothing, just some functions, inbuilt functions that we're going to use. And in future, we're also going to learn how to create your own reusable functions. And you can also call them hook. That's all. Okay. What is the use of Axios? Axios is simply used to call the network to fetch data from the API. That's it. Axios is nothing but a third-party library that you can use to call network or APIs. But nowadays, you don't have to use it because you have the internal fetch API in JavaScript. Okay, everyone. Now, let's use it. So before moving on, before moving to anything else, I want to explain you a concept. There's one really important thing called as state in React. There's one really important thing called as state in React. Now, what is a state? Okay. So now let's forget about the hooks. First of all, let's try to understand what is the state. So state in React is nothing but a data. Okay. State in React, nothing but a data. Just like a normal variable. State in React is nothing but a data, but a special kind of a data. If that data changes, the component re-renders. The component refreshes itself. Component reacts to the change. And that's why it is called the state. Okay. Because if it changes, the component refreshes. The state of the component changes. And that's why that kind of data is called as a state. So state at the end is nothing but a data, but a special kind of data. If that data is changed, the component re-renders. The component re-renders itself. Is that clear, everyone? State is nothing but data or collection of data. It can be like multiple data as well. It can be 3 variables, 4 data, 5 properties, anything. But it's nothing but data. At the end, state is nothing but data, But special kind, if that data changes, if the value of that data changes, the component refreshes itself, component re-renders. If you create a normal variable and if you change the value, the component will never re-render. But if you create a state variable and change the value, the component will re-render itself. I'll show you with example, don't worry. So let's do it, guys. Okay, everyone please focus, you'll understand everything now. Okay, let's see. So now let me create a normal variable like this, name. Okay, and I put Saurabh here. Okay, I create a normal variable like name and I put Saurabh, simple. Now I'm also going to show you how to call functions in React. I'm also going to show you how to use functions in React. Okay, so now let's go here. Okay, and let's display it. So let's put an h1 here and let's display that name. Everyone please focus. So I'm displaying that name. Let's see. Yep, here we go. We have Saurabh. Let me also open the console. Let me also open the console. Okay, because I need it in this case. Remove all these warnings. And now I see everyone. I'm going to create a function that will change the value of this name variable. I'm going to create a function that will change the value of this name variable. So let's create a function. So in React, if you want to create a function, you can create it inside the component. So inside the app component, you can create your own function. So function change name. In this case, we are simply creating a function inside a function. But don't think it like this. Think it like it's your component and you're creating a function inside it. Simple. So function change name, and I'm simply going to change the value of the name from Saurabh, let's say, to Thor, something like this. Okay, that's it. Now you know this change name function is changing the value of name variable. Okay, perfect. Now let's call this function on a button. Let's create a button and let's say simply pass click here. And now I'm going to show you how to call a function in React. So to call it, you simply write on click in camel case. In normal HTML, you write it like this, right? On click. The change in React is you have to write it like this, on click. Okay, simple. On click, and then you simply pass your function. So again, we're merging JavaScript in JSX. So simply do this and call your function. That is change name. That's it. You don't have to put brackets normally. If you're calling a function without parameters, you don't have to put these brackets. Simple. If you're calling a function without parameters, just write it like this. That's it. And to confirm it, let me also print it on the console. So console.log name. Okay, everyone, are we clear with this? Guys, are we cleared? So simply, I have a simple variable name in which the value is Saurabh. And then I have change name in which I'm changing the value of name and I'm logging it just to confirm if it is changing. And on a button, I'm calling that function. And now you know how to call a function. Simply, the change is you have to go camel case. So on and then C capital click. And then inside the curly braces, just call the function. And if it is a function without parameters, no need to put brackets. Simple. Now let's see if it is working. Let's see. Okay, don't worry about these warnings. It is coming because of the header is not getting used. Now let's click on this button. Here we go. You can see in the console, the value of name is Thor, but on the component, it is still Saurabh. That means the component is not refreshing. The component is not re-rendering. The value of the variable got changed, but the component didn't re-render because it's a normal variable. Because it is a normal variable. Is that clear, everyone? Because this name is a normal variable. It's not a state variable. It's not that special variable on which the component will re-render if it changes. It's a normal variable. Is that clear, everyone? So now we have to learn how can I make this name a state variable? How can I make this name a state variable? Is that clear, everyone? Rendering is just like displaying the output. Loading. Rendering is nothing but loading. Loading. Is that cleared? Surya Gupta. Rendering is nothing but loading. When you load an output, that is my, like when the browser loads your HTML output, that is nothing but rendering your output. Simple. Okay, everyone, are we clear with this? Guys, please tell me, everyone, are we clear with this? Okay, now let's see how to convert your normal name variable into a state variable. Okay, and for that, we have a React hook or inbuilt React function that we have to use to create a state variable. So the function that we have to create a state variable is called as useState. And again, you have to import it. You have to import use state from, it comes from the React package. So simply put from React. So now we have imported that function first, and now we can use this useState function to create a state variable. And this useState function is also called as a hook. Simple. This useState function is also called as a hook. So this useState hook is simply used to create a state variable. That's it. You can also call it a function. You can also call it a hook. Simple. So now let's use that useState function or the hook to create a state variable. And how I'm going to do it? Simple. You can put a let here, and then inside the array formation, you put two things: the variable name that you want to create and the function name that will you use to change it. It is important. You also have to mention the function name that you will use to change the value of this variable. So I'm going to call it set name, and then equal to, you have to pass that function use state, and in here you pass the initial value for that name variable. So let's say I'm going to pass Saurabh, and that's it. Now this name is a state variable, and to change the value for this name, you have to use this set name function. Simple. And initial value for this is Saurabh. So initial value for the name variable is Saurabh. That is it. And now the name is nothing but a state variable. So now let's change it again. Let's change it again. But now we cannot change it normally. We have to use the set name function, and it's simple. Simply go here and write set name and simply pass, let's say, Thor as a parameter, and that's it. The value of the name variable will be changed. Simple. So this is how you create a state variable. Let, inside array notations, put the variable name, comma, the function that you will use to change the variable's value, and then equals to use state and the initial value. Now this name is a state variable, and this set name is a function that you will use to change the value of this variable, and that's it. Set name Thor. Initially it is Saurabh. Now let's see it. Now guys, please focus, everyone. Now you have to focus. Refresh. Remove all of it, and now see if I click on this. Here we go. Can you guys see it, everyone? Don't focus on the console in this case. Don't worry about the console. But can you guys see it? Because it's asynchronous, that's why we still see Saurabh here. But don't worry about it. Now you can see we now have Thor here, because after changing the name's value, the component refreshed, re-rendered, and got the new value for you. Is that clear, everyone? So that's the difference between a state variable and a normal variable. So whenever you change the value of the state variable, the component re-renders. Guys, are we cleared? Please tell me, everyone, are we cleared with this? Re-renders or the component refreshes? And remember, only the component refreshes. If I have 10 components, and if you change the state of one component, only that component will refresh, not all the components. Is that cleared? So I hope it is cleared. I hope it is clear to everyone now. So this use state is nothing but a hook, or it's a function. Simple. So this is one of the React hooks that helps you to create a state variable. Simple. And now if you want to create multiple state variables, just go like this. Simple. Change the name of the variable, change the set, then change the name of the function, change the initial value if you don't want it. Because this set name is asynchronous. So if you have ever learned JavaScript, you know it. This set name is asynchronous. So this console.log is getting called before this set name. It is asynchronous. That's why. So don't worry about it. See, if you guys know JavaScript, if you guys know basic JavaScript, you'll know it, that this set name, if I tell you what it is asynchronous, you know it. See guys, this set name is asynchronous. It's a basic JavaScript concept. So it is asynchronous. That means this console.log is getting called before this set name. If this set name is taking a little time, this console.log is getting called before set name. That's what is happening. Okay, I'll explain you. If you don't know JavaScript, then it will become a really tough thing. But I'll explain you what is asynchronous. See. So just to explain you guys right now, just to explain you a little bit about it. See it like this. Let's say I have a normal thing like this. I have like code, say line number 1, line number 2, line number 3, line number 4. Let's say I have 4 lines of code. Okay, everyone. Let's say I have 4 lines of code. I'm just giving you a basic explanation. I'm giving you a really basic explanation of synchronous and asynchronous. Okay. So let's have these 4 lines of code. Okay. And let's say the now how things execute in the synchronous way, in the sequential way. First, this line will execute, then this line will execute, then this line, then this line. Now, if in any case, code number like line number two, code line number two is taking a little time, like let's say it is taking 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. That means if code now, if line, why I'm writing code here, that's why I'm getting confused. Let's say line number one, line number two, line number three, line number four. So let's say if line number two is taking like 10 seconds, that means line number three and line number four has to wait for line number two to complete. That's what synchronous execution means. Everything will execute one by one. So if line number two takes 5 minutes, line number three and line number four will wait for 5 minutes. That is the synchronous way, or you can also call it a blocking way. So if one line is blocked, if it is taking time, the next lines will never execute. They are also blocked. Only if line number two is completed, then the execution will go to line number three and then line number four. This is synchronous execution. That's how normally things work. Now, to solve this issue, developers came up with something called as asynchronous. That means if you feel that line number two will take a little time, if you feel if the line number two will take a little time, do one thing, make it like asynchronous. Now don't, like right now, don't ask me how to make things asynchronous. You will learn it in future. You will learn it in JavaScript, basic JavaScript. But let's say we make it asynchronous. That means now it's out of the flow. Now it is getting executed in the background. So now what will happen? I execute line number one, then it comes to line number two, and it understands that this is asynchronous. That means now execute it in the background. Now let it take 10 minutes, let it take 5 minutes. I don't care. Execute it in the background. And now it means that if it is executing in the background, I don't have to wait. Let it execute. When it completes, it will come back. But now let's move on to line three. Let's move on to line four. Now nothing will wait for line number two. So if I feel line number two is taking time, I will make it asynchronous so that it goes in background and it gets executed, so that it never stops my execution. After executing this, now if it is taking time, leave it. Let's move ahead and execute line number three and line number four. Is that clear? That means line number three maybe gets executed before line number two. Line number four also gets executed before line number two. And maybe line number two takes 10 minutes and executes after everything at the end. It can also happen. And that's what is happening here. Set name is asynchronous. So in that case, what is happening is this console.log maybe sometimes can get executed before set name. And that's why we're still getting Saurabh. Is that clear, everyone? So that was like not the complete explanation of asynchronous. It was just a basic knowledge that I gave you. Maybe in future JS courses, I will explain you what exactly is asynchronous. Okay, everyone? So that's it, everyone. And I really hope that you understood what is state and how to work with state. And tomorrow we'll work with it a lot. And tomorrow I'll explain you one more hook that is one of the most important hooks and one of the most confusing hooks where people like, it's not confusing, but people get confused there. So there's one more hook named use effect that I'll explain you tomorrow. Now that is not a confusing hook, but people get confused there. So be prepared. I'm going to explain everything about use effect tomorrow. So there is one more hook that we'll learn tomorrow. That is use effect. We learned use state and now we know how to use it, right? So tomorrow I'll explain you use effect. Don't worry about it. So everyone, are we cleared with props? Are we cleared with state? And are we cleared with how to display your data normally and also with loops, and how to create components and reuse it? Everyone, please tell me, everyone, are we cleared? Thank you, Rohit. Thank you, buddy. That's amazing. And I am really happy that you liked the session. Okay, I can see. Yeah, perfect. So that's it, guys. That's it for today, everyone. We are almost over time now. So that's it for today. I really hope that you understood everything. And I really hope that you enjoyed my sessions. So, everyone, just please let me in the chat if you enjoyed the session or not. And we'll meet again tomorrow exactly at 6 o'clock. And we'll cover use effect hook. And after completing use effect in the first 20 minutes, we'll start creating a simple mini project in React so that you can understand how to work in React. So, we're also going to create a simple mini project. And I'll also teach you how to read values from input fields. So don't worry about it. Tomorrow, I'll also teach you how to read values from input fields in React. So tomorrow, we are planning to learn use effect, reading values from input fields, and also making a mini project. So tomorrow, we have a lot of things to do. Okay? Not a problem. And for all the people who have not completed the assignments yet, don't worry. The deadline is 21st August. So make sure that you submit all of it by 21st August. It's not like that I give assignment today and you have to complete by tomorrow. No. But make sure that you complete every assignment and submit it by 21st August. Okay, Karina, not a problem. Okay. For sure, I'll try my best to go slow. Because see, what I like feel is a lot of people come here with like, let's say now for React, people need a little bit of knowledge of HTML, CSS, and JS. So I think a lot of people come here without knowing HTML, CSS, and JS, but that's also fine. They can still learn everything. Okay, and yes, I understand. So for now, maybe in future I'll try that thing as well. Which database suits got React.js? You don't connect any database to React. No, you simply connect backend. You simply call APIs in React. You connect databases to the server-side languages like JavaScript on the server side when you work with Node.js or PHP. Right? You connect database to the backend languages, not to React. React is a front-end development language. You simply call APIs. You don't connect any database. Is that clear, everyone? So tomorrow we have a lot of things to do. So please, everyone, join in at 6 o'clock. We're going to do a lot of things. And please, everyone, join the group. So the link is in the chat. Please click on it, join the group, because I'm going to share all the files that we created today and the assignment question on the group. So please join that group. Everyone, please join that group. Okay. Okay, that's it. After 1 week, what's next? Maybe we are starting with some other essentials. See, now this is only the essentials course. If you want to like learn more about it, if you want to see how to like really create big projects, you also guys, you can also join our advanced sessions. So you can simply go to letsupgrade.in and see the details about the advanced sessions. Okay. So everyone, after attending essentials, if you want to learn more in React and if you want to create a really cool things in React, you can also join our advanced sessions where we teach not only React, a lot of things. So you can join the web development course or app development course where we teach everything from scratch, every little basic things to the end, so that you can create a complete full stack application by your own. And we create around 50 to 20 projects in the advanced sessions. So if you're interested, you can also join in there. But not a problem now. You still have tomorrow's session, so we're going to create a lot of things tomorrow as well. But again, it's totally up to you. If you don't want, you can also use these lectures as your kickstart, as your basics, and you can build up on this by yourself. You can also do that. So it's totally fine. Okay. You can join the advanced sessions, or you can also use this learnings to actually start creating your own things and learning by your own. You also have that thing. So it's totally fine. The advanced session will be instructor. Yes, yes, Paramveer said. The advanced sections also have the instructors. Yes. Yes, and it's live. It's live, always live. Okay, everyone. Okay. So that's it for today, guys. That's it for today. That was all for today. I really hope that you enjoyed, and thank you for learning with me. Thank you for being with me. And I'll see you tomorrow exactly at 6. We're going to do a lot of things. And Deepak, I remember your doubt, buddy. So please go on the community. Just write your CSS advanced files need in the community and just tag me. Then I'll talk to the team about it. Okay, everyone. And for all the people who are interested for advanced sessions, advanced courses, you can simply go on LetsUpgrade.in and just see the details. And if you want to enroll, you can enroll it from there. Okay. So, okay. Yes. Someone asking about Flutter mobile app development. Yes, Kuber, we are planning for it. Yes. Actually, it was planned for last week, but I was not available at that time. There was some problem. So there were some issues going on. So yes, in future, we're actually going to we are actually planning for a Flutter app development essential. Okay, Kuber, so don't worry about it. Okay, guys. So everyone, please join the group and fill your attendances and complete the assignments. And that's it for today, everyone. Yes, Preeti, tell me. You have a doubt? Go ahead. Tell me, what is your doubt, Preeti? State is pending. No, we just learned state. Pooja, we just learned state. Yeah, we didn't use it as example. We didn't use any examples. Tomorrow we'll do that. But about the state, we learned it just now. Can we replace JS extension to JSX? Yes, I think a lot of things have JSX extensions, but in normal cases, you don't have to do it. In this case, you never have to do it. JS will work completely fine because you're using JSX internally. So you don't have to use the JSX extensions in this case. Is that clear, Preeti? When you work with React, normally you can go for JS. You don't have to use any kind of JSX extension. Okay, and Pooja, we just learned state. I think you're maybe behind a little in the video, little behind in the video. So if you completely watch it, we have just covered the state. Yes, tomorrow we'll see examples related to it. So don't worry about it. Yes, Paramveer, you can do that. You can do that. You can do that. So Josna, can you like just Paramveer is asking for advanced session. So like just if he leaves any details on the website, please contact him. So yes, Paramveer, just leave your details on the site, and yes, we'll contact you. Don't worry, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Thank you, Debong Gamer. Thank you, buddy. Okay, guys. So that's it for today. Thank you so much, everyone. Bye bye. See you tomorrow at 6 o'clock. I hope that every one of you will be there tomorrow as well. So bye bye, everyone. Good night. Yes, Pratiksha, recorded will be also available.